president and chief executive of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has said that since the refinery, Dangote Refinery, began producing petrol a year ago, Nigeria's 5-decade-long struggle with fuel queues has finally come to an end. He also added that the company deserves celebration and recognition for rescuing the country, from Nigeria, from the economic burden of paying about $1 billion in demurrage through the establishment of his 650,000 barrel per day refinery. Let's take a look at a couple quotes. He was speaking at a press conference celebrating that 1 year since, of course, this is taking place, since the refineries began operations. I said we've been battling fuel queues since 1975, but today Nigerians are witnessing a new era. The journey has been challenging because we sought to transform the downstream sector. The decision to build the refinery was not easy. If it had gone wrong, lenders would have taken our assets, but we believed in Nigeria and Africa. A couple other quotes there from the president and CEO of the group. He also said that some believed we're taking food from their tables. This, of course, is a reference to some allegations being made that the company has refuted, saying that they're selling fuel to foreign customers at a lower price than to Nigerians. Said this simply isn't true. What we've done is to make our country and continent proud. Previously, only 2 African countries were not importing petrol, but regrettably, they have since resumed imports. This is detrimental to Africa. And then on the CNG trucks, of course, Dangote Group has also been going back and forth with Nupeng. That, of course, has been settled. We covered that. It says we have not displaced any jobs. We are creating many more. The CNG trucks will not be operated by robots. Our employees earn salaries 3 times the minimum wage. Our drivers receive a living wage, life insurance, health insurance, covering themselves, their spouses, and up to 4 children, as well as a lifelong pension. Let's talk imports now. Federal government of Nigeria has suspended the 4% free on board charge recently imposed on imported goods by the Nigeria Customs Service. It takes place immediately. The charges, they were initially supposed to streamline the customs charges for imported items. This, of course, there was a letter signed by the Permanent Secretary, Special Duties, R.O. Omachi, Federal Ministry of Finance. All right, but who better than Narai's business analyst, Chika Mbonu, to discuss the refinery, discuss imports, customs, and the like. You're welcome, sir. Thanks for joining us.
How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being with us. Indeed.
Well, I will start with the Dangote Refinery.
The Dangote Refinery, fantastic. All right.
I will, sorry, I'll be a little comical. There was this song by Osofia, one of the popular Nigerian actors.
Yeah.
He said, I don't suffer, no be small. Upon say I get sense. You know,
okay, very accurate.
You know, this thing about the oil importation is one area Nigeria has suffered, even upon say we get sense.
Yeah.
Refineries, Port Harcourt Refinery, Kaduna Refinery, Warri Refinery, massive investments, not working. Nigeria was massively importing fuel. And inside this importation have been so many scams. Subsidies paid for imports didn't land in Nigeria. We're consuming 30 million liters a day. The people are claiming that it was 60 million liters. You know, and then look at the number of queues, fuel scarcity since 1975. And we have suffered for this.
Yeah.
For a nation that produces the crude oil, and, you know, we had the refineries put on ground, none was working. You know, the Dangote refinery was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
A transformative project. Ruth, you recall that I visited a refinery.
You did.
I told you that the day I went there with $10 and Mr. Dr. Adeshina, and we got there around 7 in the morning. And by 6 p.m., we hadn't even gone half of the refinery. Yeah. And I remember I told you, I asked the man, could you say, this is tying to one of the things he said. I said, sir, you were the African chess man before this refinery. Why did you need to do this? And he talked about the issues he talked about today. You know, we can't just depend on the other countries. Yeah. Africa must, produce. And our country must produce. So this is one project I'm so proud of that has transformed the dynamics of the Nigerian economy and African economy. You recall, because of Dangote Refinery now, so many Western refineries are falling up, or the margins have been put under a lot of pressure because of the Dangote Refinery. And I'm saying it now that this is one project that everybody because a lot of those in authority, I'm not going to mention any names in this way, whether it's civil servants or those who have been called to negotiating for us, have been always supported people who come and use Nigeria as dumping ground, for any kind of commodity. It made things easy for people, foreigners come and dump things in Nigeria. Dangote Refinery is one project that everybody, from the president of the country, thank God, has been doing that, to the members of the Senate, members of the House of Reps, everybody in the chain must support to succeed for the good of our country. We cannot, progress in our country if we just become a dumping ground. Even now for Russian cheap fuel, that's happening. And then there's no day, Rutus, that you bring this Dangote Refinery and and put aside some of these people who import fuel and talk about monopoly. Because of that monopoly, we should allow people to continue to import fuel when we're producing locally here. Remember, also between June and September, these guys have exported about 1.1 billion liters of fuel, which means internationally is accepted. And then you are there saying, no, Dangote cannot meet Nigerian needs and whatever. So this is a project that we must support. So many Nigerians, as he said, have millions of dollars. If you go to the Nice Bridge, Barclays Bank, and some people, a lot of Nigerians die, they don't know how much money they have there. But they cannot take the risk that the alleged Dangote has taken to build this refinery. And as I told you, it was other countries, when they do this kind of project, it's plug and play. You just go there and put the plan. But this guy started from San Filling, you know how much invested in, even from buying the line, $100 million. Then San Filling, reclamation, and so on and so forth.
Power source.
So many things. And now this initiative of 4,000 CNG trucks that will employ about 24,000 people, and make sure that fuel gets to the hinterlands, what else do we have against this? Trash this issue of monopoly, and so on and on. And I think that anything that propaganda is out there to support the continued importation of fuel under any guise should be killed. We have a refinery that's our own now, that Africa is proud of. Other African countries are, queuing up, please supply us fuel. And over here in Nigeria, we're still arguing about let them be importing fuel. And then Nigeria cannot be a dumping ground for the continued importation of fuel. We have our own refinery here, and everybody must support the refinery. Congratulations on the 1-year celebration. You know what's going to happen, Rutus. The fertilizer plant is going to be one of the largest exports, really any dollar for the country. The polypropylene plant also is going to replace so much foreign trade Nigeria is wasting on importing all these products. And refinery, cement, said already, we're going to earn about $500 million from exportation of cement. So let us all support our own and make sure that the industry, the refinery thrives. Excellent government policies consistently, supply them with the crude they need, that. And then all these people who are still talking about importation, let's step aside. Rather, we'll focus on even on our modular refineries. That's what's important for Nigeria.
Fantastic. Chika, we're almost out of time, but quickly, I know you talked about imports, but what do you make of this free on board levy that's been removed?
It's introduced in September 2023 through the Custom Act. It was meant to replace some of the existing levies and duties there. Duties and levies, as they're adjusted up or down, promote or discourage trade. And then the certain about that is when the duties and levies are higher, they slide it immediately to consumer prices and actually help to drive up inflation. And so when this 4% levy came in, all the importers, assembly, motor importers, all the raw material complained to the government that is going to increase cost of imports. In addition, that the levies they were supposed to have replaced with them have not actually been replaced. So they became an additional layer of cost onto the importers, and that's what's happened. And so government listened and said, okay, let's suspend this and make sure the implementation is done properly. I've always said that
importers,
any nation that is very serious must actually look at the role of customs in the economy at the ports. And there's so much to be done at the ports. I'm talking again about automation for transparency. So reduce the manual inspections and so on and so forth, and make life easier for exporters and for importers. Trade is a major thing for our country, a major contributor for our GDP. And so this is a very good initiative. let them think through it. Instead of the past, when the government police just come in there and just dump on people without considering the complaints people are making. So this is one good one. I'm happy they're listening, and hopefully we're already buffeted by inflation. So this will help us to make sure that the right decisions are taken for the benefit of the country.
Fantastic stuff. All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu taking us off, of course, with the 1 year anniversary of Dangote Refinery with operations and also the free on board levy being suspended by the Nigerian government. Chika, thank you so much.